Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me. Today I'm really excited because today I have someone on that is going to help me tackle some of the toughest questions that we all have when it comes to financial independence and healthcare. Healthcare is one of those things that a lot of people worry about when they're trying to retire early. They just don't know if they're going to be able to afford it. They don't know if the prices are going to go up and they're going to be priced out. So there are so many questions that we have in the financial independence community about how we should handle our healthcare when we're on the path to financial independence. And today I have Sarah with me today from iHealthBrokers, and she is very knowledgeable. She's a great resource. So without further ado, thank you, Sarah, for joining me. The first thing that I want to do, just ask you real quick, is please just inform me and inform everyone a little about your background and your company at iHealthBrokers.
Hi Zach, thank you so much for having me here today. So I will give you a little background on iHealthBrokers. So our founder and owner, Jesse, actually started as a health insurance agent, which a lot of people don't know is actually very different from an insurance broker. So an agent works for the insurance company or the carrier. A health insurance broker works for you. And an agent is sort of limited because they can really only present you with their company's plans, which is what he was doing. And he didn't think that the plans that they offered were very good. So he decided to find a different way, which was to become a health insurance broker and to start iHealthBrokers. And we've been around since 2007. And basically, brokers can help you comparison shop multiple different carriers and multiple different plans, and a lot of brokers do so at no charge. Like us, we don't charge our clients for our services. The way that brokers and agents get paid is that those commissions are already baked into the rates that you pay. So whether you go directly to the company or you use a broker, you're gonna pay the same rate. But like I said, a broker works for you, and they can help you comparison shop different carriers, different plans, makes the whole process a lot easier.
Now, thank you very much for that introduction. Another question I have for you today that I've prepared right here is kind of like a scenario. So let's say that someone in the FIRE community, they finally pull the plug, they pull the trigger, however you want to say it, and they leave their job to pursue other ventures. You know, whether that be self-employed, whether they want to travel, whether they want to just, homestead, whatever they want to do. Let's say that they pull the plug on that and they actually, quit their job. However, at their old job, that is where they got their health insurance. I think that's the situation for a lot of people in the United States and even abroad maybe. So for them and their family, what are their options at this point? Where can they get their health care once they leave their employer?
So that's a great question, and it's one we get asked a lot. It's definitely a very scary transition moving from that employer-sponsored group health insurance to trying to find another option. But there are other options. Your first option, of course, is COBRA. If you're moving from a full-time job where health insurance is offered, then you can choose to enroll in COBRA. You've got 60 days to do so, and you'll be able to keep the exact same health insurance for a period of up to 18 months, which is great. The only downside is the cost. You're going to pay at least double what you're paying right now, which may not be financially feasible. Another option is Medicaid. If your income falls below a certain level, you may be able to apply for Medicaid, even if it's a temporary measure until your new career gets off the ground. Another option is, of course, marketplace plans. That's the ACA, Affordable Care Act. If you quit or if you're laid off, that will trigger a special enrollment period, so you can enroll during that time. And remember, you may be eligible for a tax credit, which can really be a major savings. You just need to estimate your income for the following year. And the final option, which is a great one that a lot of people don't know about, is short-term medical insurance. Short-term medical insurance has majorly evolved in recent years. You can have access to most of the same benefits as ACA plans, but for a young, healthy person with no pre-existing conditions, you could get a premium as low as $100 per month. So it's really a great option.
Awesome. That was a great answer, and I know that a lot of people are going to find so much value in your responses. Now, the next thing I have for you today is kind of relates to that as well, but let's say that someone in the FIRE community. So sometimes we, on the path to financial independence, or some of us that are already financially independent, we just find ourselves in unusual life circumstances. We're a little bit different than the average population. Sometimes we don't want to just quit our jobs and never work again. Sometimes we just want to maybe take some time off. Maybe go and travel the world for a year. Maybe we want to go and travel in an RV. Maybe we want to stay home, with our kids for the entire summer while they're out of school. Whatever you want to do, it might be something more short term, but for a longer duration than would be like a traditional, like typical 2-week vacation that's offered at a job. So we might need to leave our employment temporarily and then maybe return to it later if we want to, because we want that flexibility in our life. That's one of those things that a lot of people on the path to financial independence are looking for. So if we're going to, let's say, enter a scenario like that, where we might be out of work, not getting health care from our work, like I mentioned before, for a shorter amount of time, maybe not so permanent, maybe like 1 year or less, what are some short-term health insurance or health care options that are available?
So I'm going to go back to those short-term medical insurance plans. Number one, short-term medical insurance plans have no open enrollment period. You can enroll year-round. So if all of a sudden you've decided to travel, you can enroll right now. Additionally, short-term medical insurance plans generally offer nationwide PPO coverage. Now, if you're not familiar with the difference between a PPO and an HMO, a PPO gives you more flexibility in the doctors and hospitals that you visit because you've got coverage in and out of network. And of course, nationwide is nationwide. So if you're going to be traveling all over the place, it really might be a good option for you. Just take into consideration, short-term medical insurance plans are really best for people that are generally speaking healthy without major pre-existing conditions or pre-existing conditions that are very expensive to treat. And they're also best for people without any young children because little kids have a lot of doctor's appointments.
All right, awesome. That's really great news. That's perfect to hear. Thank you so much for that. Another question that I have for you today, let me take a sip real quick. This is, it's pretty early in the morning right now, and I've got myself a nice warm cup of coffee, and I want to keep it warm. Okay, so my next question for you today, it has to kind of do with health insurance. But really, I want to go into a little bit about dental insurance. So not too many people seem to be worried about dental insurance when it comes to financial independence. Now, I'm guessing that's because it's not nearly as pricey as health insurance. And then when I've done my own research on it as well, I have kind of come to that conclusion that it's not as pricey, not nearly as pricey as health insurance. But still, someone who is financially independent, like most people, they do get their dental insurance and their health insurance from their employer. But someone that might be financially independent, might be self-employed, might not be working, whatever it may be. So what are some of their options? What do you think is the best solution for someone when it comes to dental care, someone in the FIRE community?
I'm so glad you asked about that. We actually just did a video all about dental insurance because we get asked about it a lot. And yes, dental insurance is much less expensive than health insurance. Generally speaking, you can get a plan for $15 to $50 per month. Not bad. There's a couple of different options. You can choose between a DHMO, a PPO, an indemnity plan, or a dental savings account. A DHMO, generally speaking, is going to be less expensive and you're going to have co-pays, but the network is pretty limited. Then there's a PPO, which will give you more flexibility. It will have co-insurance instead of co-pays. You need to remember that. But you'll have coverage whether you choose to see an in-network or an out-of-network doctor. Then there's indemnity plans, which give you a lot of flexibility, very high maximums, but also very high deductibles and a lot of paperwork. And then there's dental savings plans, which, as their name suggests, give you a major savings, but a very, very small network. But please make sure that you do have dental insurance, because quite frankly, you just don't know when you're gonna wake up with a major toothache. And if you think at that point, oh, I'll just enroll in some insurance now. Well, most plans have a 12-month waiting period for major services, and there's no way that you're hanging around waiting 12 months when you're in pain.
Awesome, thank you so much. You are so valuable. I really appreciate you taking the time to answer some of these questions, because I know people in the financial independence community need to know some of these answers. The last question that I have for you today, I wish I had more for you. I wish we had all the time in the world. The last question that I want to ask you has to do with health savings accounts. I am a huge proponent of health savings accounts. Right now, currently, I am not able to take advantage of a health savings account, and that makes me pretty sad. But I know maybe sometime in the future I will be able to. But anyway, in the FIRE community, we love HSAs. We love the triple tax benefit, saving taxes now, saving taxes while it's growing, and saving taxes when we withdraw. So we love our HSAs. Maybe sometimes we love our HSAs a little bit too much. So from the financial independence mindset, what are some of your general recommendations for someone who should choose an HSA eligible plan with a high deductible, or if they should choose a plan that has lower deductibles? When do you think, like some kind of generalized scenarios, what would be best to choose the HSA, and when would it be best to maybe not choose the HSA and choose a lower deductible, maybe more traditional health insurance plan?
HSAs. Okay, so HSAs, a lot of people are interested in because of that triple tax benefit, right? The downside of HSAs is that they come with high deductible health plans. And I don't actually want to say it's a downside, because for some people, it really is ideal. If you're somebody that has limited health needs, you go to the doctor just for your checkups, the regular health concerns, then a high deductible health plan actually might be a great option for you, because your monthly premiums are going to be much, much lower, which is obviously a good thing financially speaking. Also, if you're somebody that's sort of right on the cusp of meeting the criteria for a tax credit with marketplace insurance, then contributing to an HSA might lower your taxable income to the point where you are eligible for a tax credit, further lowering your monthly premiums. However, high deductible health plans are definitely not for you if you have a lot of health concerns and a lot of doctor's visits and big medical bills, because then you're going to have to pay for a lot more out of pocket. However, these rules are really not hard and fast. Different states offer different plans, so really you need to log on to healthcare.gov and peruse all the different plans, or call a broker and work through what's best for you.
All right, awesome. That is amazing. Thank you so much again. I really appreciated having you on. Like I said before, you are definitely a huge value to the financial independence community, and I wish maybe one day that you would get on the path yourself. And to anyone out there, if you want to learn a lot more about health insurance, Sarah is the expert in my mind. So is her company, iHealthBrokers. So if you're more interested in learning more about health insurance, dental insurance, and pretty much everything under that sun, make sure you go and check out iHealthBrokers.com or her YouTube channel so you can get more information on them. I'll leave the last final words to you, Sarah. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me, Zach. Health insurance really is very important, but it's also one of those things that's just really confusing. And if you choose the wrong plan or you forego health insurance entirely, you can wind up in some pretty hot water. So we're trying to help inform and educate people. That way they can make the best decisions and save some money. So again, thank you so much for having me.